Hello, I'm Sally. I'm one of Brittany's coaches. And so, welcome to the tapping circle. Who's first time here? Okay, Jennifer and Lindsay. Okay. Oh, Chandra. Is that how I say it? Chandra? Okay. Well, welcome. I hope you're all familiar with tapping, though, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. This Today we're going to be working on boundaries. Now, boundaries doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. It can be anything where somebody steps over the line with you. It could be cutting you off in traffic. That to me can be a boundary violation because it upsets me. Somebody walking in the room without knocking, that can be a a boundary violation. So, does anybody want to share something that they feel is um, a violation of the boundary that they've set or not set? And give some ideas to other people.
Um,
Cheryl Ann,
uh,
don't look so stressed.
I just wanted to say one boundary violation that I feel is when people hover, like you're trying to do something, right? And they just hover like over your shoulder or even
Oh,
across the room. It
that
irritates me. I'm like, look, man, you don't need to be standing there staring at me. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to move on.
that's great. That's a great one, Cheryl. Great. Covering. Good. Anybody else?
What about um like my younger son is very much a snuggler and most of the time I like it, but there are times where he is just so in my face and wanting to be in my lap that it
Mm-hmm.
feels like too much to me. Would that also be, even though it's
Absolutely.
not always, I don't always have that same need for boundary. Sometimes it is.
Anything that makes you feel uncomfortable is your boundaries being stepped on. So yes, that can be a get off of me. My dogs do that. Not my kids are all grown, but my dogs sometimes it's like, get away, get away, get away. So yes, yes, Jennifer, thank you. That's good. Anybody else?
Yeah, well, for me, it's when I go out, I have neighbors that are very that always look at what I'm doing. So, and they come, they ask things, they want to know what is about my life, and sometimes I'm very upset because I feel forced to have good relationships with them, but I don't want to talk to them, so it's quite sometimes difficult.
Okay. That's a good one too. Asking questions when you don't really want to talk. Watching you. Just yeah, these are great, great. Um, Chandra, did you want to say something?
I had a few in my head, but they kind of went in line with hovering, which was just like standing in
Mhm.
line too close or like speaking too close to
Yeah,
me. Yeah. Um,
that's
Also, just actually the other day, I went on a date and um, I mean, it wasn't like it was just he was just kept trying to hold my hand and I kept pulling away and he was not getting the gist of it and he just kept putting his hand out for me and I couldn't say no, but it was, well, I could have, but it just felt so awkward. And so I kept holding it and then taking it away, and he just didn't stop.
yep.
Not,
That's a big one. Yep. People touching you, standing too close. Now, I want you guys to just close your eyes and go to one of those places in your mind where somebody has crossed the line. It doesn't have to be something big, but I mean, snuggling or Someone just watching you do something or hovering too close or holding your hand when you didn't, hey, I didn't offer it. Think of those things and really try to imagine being there and try to get that irritation as high as you can. Okay, everybody got a number? 0 to 10. Hopefully it's a high one. If you want to put it in the chat. Okay, Cheryl answered a 10. 9. Okay. Now think about how bad it was, why you didn't set the boundary. Why didn't you say, no, I don't want you to hold my hand. Oh, I'm busy right now. I don't really want to answer your questions. What are you hovering around for? I'm working. Go do something. You know, why didn't we say things when these things come up, when someone crosses a boundary with us? Why are we afraid? Why are we afraid to say something? Why can't we set boundaries and stick to them? Okay. All right. You got that in mind? Now take a deep breath in and release it. And just repeat after me, tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I struggle to set boundaries, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I find it hard to set boundaries, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I worry about how others will react when I set boundaries, I choose to honor and respect myself. Okay, tapping through the points. I feel anxious about setting boundaries. It feels uncomfortable to say no sometimes. I worry about hurting people's feelings. I fear being seen as selfish or mean. I know setting boundaries is important for my well-being. I deserve to have my needs met. And it's okay for me to prioritize myself sometimes. I can set boundaries with kindness and compassion. I release any guilt or shame associated with setting boundaries. I choose to assert myself confidently and respectfully. I trust myself to know what's best for me. I give myself permission to say no when necessary. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. I embrace my right to establish healthy boundaries. I release any fear or resistance to setting boundaries. I am worthy of respect and understanding. I will honor my needs and feelings. I trust that setting boundaries will improve my relationships. I choose to communicate my boundaries clearly and confidently. I release any attachment to how others may react. I'm empowered to create a life that aligns with my values. I am strong, capable, and deserving of healthy boundaries. I release any need to please others at the expense of my own feelings. I prioritize self-care and self-respect. Setting boundaries allows me to cultivate deeper connections. Connections based on honesty and mutual respect. I trust that asserting my boundaries will lead to greater harmony in my relationships. I am worthy of love and respect, regardless of my boundaries. I am confident in my ability to assert myself and honor my needs. I release any hesitation or doubt about setting boundaries. I embrace my power to create a life that reflects my true desires. I am grateful for the opportunity to establish healthy boundaries. I trust that setting boundaries will lead to greater happiness and fulfillment in my life. Okay, take a deep breath in and release it. Now I want you to think back on how you were feeling in the beginning about setting these boundaries, about being people stepping on over their boundaries. And has your number come down at all? And put it in the chat, what it was and what it is now. Anybody want to share? 3, 9 to 6, 7 to 3. Good, good. 5. Sherilyn, 3. Good, good. Okay, now, Cheryl, you were saying that people hovering, and it was one of the boundaries that you had. After doing this tapping, if that was happening, what would you say? What would be a healthy response to someone hovering?
So my example is we were a family all in the same house, and so my son-in-law's father tends to hover in the kitchen right when I'm trying to cook or whatever. So I think probably what I would do rather than trying to get him to leave is just leave myself, right? Stop what I'm doing and leave the kitchen as opposed to picking that fight. Or I might say, hey, there's not a lot of space in this kitchen. Can you give me some space?
Which do you think would be better?
Probably the
Leaving?
second one. I think
Yes, that,
the three that I still have is, you know, it's a fear of offending my son-in-law or offending his father, and then that impacting my daughter and granddaughter, you know? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna work on it some more.
Okay, good. Let's see, who else had something? Let's see. Standing too close? I didn't write down who wrote it. Let's see, snuggling. Jennifer, you were a snuggler, yes.
Yes,
So
that was my little
what do you,
snuggler.
what do you think would be a good way to set a boundary with your son about snuggling when you don't really want to? What would be a good way to handle that?
To find a way to say
Oh, how old is he?
he's 11, but he's
Okay.
also small for his age, so
Mm-hmm.
and he's my youngest, and so there's all the he's still my baby. Um, but to find a way to help, I got to figure out the words to say I love you, and sometimes I love snuggling, but right now I need my space. And I don't, my fear is that I'm going to hurt his feelings or make him feel rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to figure out, I got to
Yep. Okay. So we still have some
that.
stress there. I can see it in your face.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do some more tapping. Did that help you at all?
Yeah. I mean, I probably went from a 9 to a 6.
Okay.
So it's less
Anyway,
scary, but it's still,
any movement down is movement. Okay. Okay. Let's do some more. Okay. Tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I struggle to set boundaries, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's hard to say no when somebody I love is doing something, I still deserve the respect to set my boundaries. Even though I fear sometimes hurting their feelings, my feelings are important too. So even though I struggle to set these boundaries, I honor how I feel and completely love and accept myself. Tapping through the points. Why do I find it so hard to set boundaries? Why do I often feel guilty when I try to assert myself? My fear sometimes stops me to avoid conflict. And I worry about disappointing others. I deserve to have my boundaries respected. And it's okay to prioritize my needs. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love, self-care. I release any guilt or fear about setting boundaries. If they didn't want to do this, I wouldn't do it to them. I respect others' boundaries. So I release the guilt. I release the fear of setting boundaries. I'm empowered when I set my boundaries. And I'm worthy of respect. I can assert myself with kindness. My needs matter too. So I choose to communicate these boundaries clearly. They will understand. And if they don't, it's their problem. It's safe for me to set boundaries. And I release the need to people please. My feelings matter too. So I honor and respect myself by setting boundaries. I'm confident in my ability to set boundaries. I'm confident in my ability to maintain healthy boundaries. I trust myself to prioritize my well-being. Take a deep breath and release. Anybody want to share? Did that help at all? Did your anxiety come down?
Yes, mine did. I'm probably 1 now.
Wonderful, Cheryl, wonderful. Good job.
And I'm probably down to a 3.
That's good too. Good, good. Good. Okay. Um, I'm trying to, I had set this up today for self-sabotage. And 2 minutes before the call, I realized that I was on the wrong day. So I'm searching here for some other things. Cheryl or anybody, do you want to share anything?
I actually have a little story. It's not about tapping because my granddaughter is 6, right? So she doesn't know about tapping. Although as she grows up, I'm certainly going to share with her. But the other day she was kind of upset, and I said, "Hey, come here, give Kima a hug." She goes, "No, thank you, Kima. I don't want a hug right now." And she was sitting on the couch, and I said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And then later I was taking her to school, and she goes, "Gima, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but I just didn't want to hug." And I said, "You didn't hurt my feelings, darling. You should speak up for yourself. You should tell people, I love you and I want to give you a hug if you need one, but you don't need to accept my hug or anybody else if you don't want to." So I thought that that was very empowering, being that she was 6.
Yes, and that's a good thing about boundaries. Teach her learning them that early. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so when we don't set boundaries, we lower our self-worth. We don't really feel worthy enough to set these boundaries. So let's do a little tapping on self-worth. Think about, do you feel worthy to set boundaries? Do you deserve to set boundaries? Okay. So tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I may have an issue with self-worth, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Even though I may have an issue with self-worth, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. even though I sometimes have this feeling that I don't deserve it, I'm open to the feelings and accept myself anyway. Keep tapping to the points. Maybe I don't value myself. Maybe I've been really down on myself. Do I really feel unworthy? Have I been comparing myself to everyone else? Thinking that others are better than me? Telling myself that I'm really not good enough? Maybe they deserve to be in the kitchen and not me. Maybe I'm telling myself I should be better. Try harder. Do more. I wonder if that's what's really happening here. Huh. I'm open to the possibility that I'm a good person. What if I'm lovable exactly as I am? Even when I'm struggling with this issue, I'm good enough. Sometimes I feel down on myself. I'm still worthy of love. So I forgive myself for not believing this, thinking I'm not worthy of my own love and support. Because I am worthy of love, exactly as I am. I accept the fact that my mind will always judge others as better or worse than I am. That's just nature. I don't have to listen to this judgmental part anymore. I choose to love and approve myself. Because I'm worthy of love and respect. And I forgive myself for thinking I had to do something to earn my own love and respect. That's just leftover conditioning. All the conditioning from when I was a child, but it no longer serves me. I'm learning to be more confident, and I find approval from within. And I'm choosing to love and respect myself. Take a deep breath in. Anybody have anything to say about that? Anything they want to share?
One thing that occurred to me, Sally, is I was brought up, with the Christian view, love others as you love yourself, right? And so I tend to put others before myself.
Okay,
And
stop right there. What did you say before that? Love others as you love yourself.
Right.
You don't put others first. Okay? Yes, we're supposed to love each other as we love ourselves, but we have to love ourselves first. And I didn't mean to cut you off. Don't mute yourself. That's not what my intention. I wanted you to realize what you said, and then what you said about putting others first.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I was saying.
Mhm.
Like as I was tapping, that was occurring to me. Like you were saying, the conditioning, right? And we have this conditioning as Christians to, oh, you have to, let other people go first, or you have to, and I believe that there are examples in the Bible of Jesus getting away by himself as well, right? And taking care of himself in some instances. And if he can do it, we can do it too.
Exactly. If you don't love yourself, it's really hard to love other people. So that's what we're trying to do here is turn it around. Loving yourself doesn't have to be selfish. It doesn't have to be mean. It's self-love, taking care of yourself, doing to yourself what you will do to other people. If you want to be mean to yourself, then hey, you're going to be mean to others. This saying that hurt people hurt people. Loving people love people. So love yourself, and then you'll be able to love others in the best way. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share?
Yes.
Hi. Oh, you go ahead first.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
So I think that I need to work on like loving myself enough to hold the boundaries. I've learned how to say them. So even for like that hand holding example that I gave earlier, I did wait too long, but eventually I did say like, this is the first date. I'm just feeling uncomfortable. And he removed his hand at first and was like, yeah, that's good. And then he continued to try. So I find that when I do say my boundary, and this is like anything I'm thinking of, not just this particular situation, I will say a boundary and then people either agree and just ignore me, or they disagree and almost gaslight me to the point that I feel like I have no right to be sharing this boundary. Like I'm in the wrong. And yeah, that's where I'm at. That's why originally my number went up. Yeah.
Okay. So you need to set your boundaries and then stick to them. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so, but I also don't know how in those moments when people just twist things around so much that you don't really know what's right and wrong and what's up and down.
Yep, I know them people. Just try to stay away from them people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard because it's family.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where we have to learn to set our boundaries and stick with them and not have the guilt that they try to put on you. And by tapping through those and learning to set the boundaries, it's helpful in those situations. So situations aren't necessarily gonna go away because those people aren't changing, but we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are. And when we change ourselves, we will notice other people learn to respect what we're saying. As long as we are respecting ourselves and sticking to our boundaries, people will sooner or later start accepting it, or they'll go away, and then we didn't need them in the first place. At least that's my philosophy.
So might it be that as we get better at building up the true belief in the boundaries through this process, that then when we say it, that core belief, that true belief in the boundary comes out better, and maybe people will respect it more?
Okay, I want
I
you to do
say
something for
hopefully.
me. Yeah, everybody can do this, but Jennifer, I want you to do it with me, okay?
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Now think of the boundary of your son wanting to hug you and you're not in the mood, let's put it that way, or you're busy doing something, okay?
Mhm.
Now I want you to think about how you feel at that moment. Say something like, I don't want to hug right now. Say
Honey,
it.
not right now.
How does that make you feel right there?
I still feel kind
Feel.
of horrible.
Okay, now I want you to close your eyes. Think of what we just tapped on and how you're important too, and that you're not going to be mean, but you're going to set your boundary because you love yourself. You love him. That does not diminish the love you're feeling for him, but you love yourself also, and you are important. Okay? Now say it again with that feeling of I'm important too. I don't want to
I'd
hurt
love,
you. Go
yeah,
ahead.
thanks for your snuggle, but I need some space right now.
Now, how do you feel different from what you did the first one? Does it feel any different?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
that's where I want you to get. I want you to get to that second one where you feel important. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, it can with tapping. It can be miraculous. Boom, like, oh my gosh. But this is something deep rooted and you really love him. You probably love him more than you love yourself. So that's what moms do. But we've got to take care of ourselves also, okay? So that's why I want you to practice doing that, okay? Practice doing it the way that you feel would be best. With you being important, just as important as he is, and then practice will make it be better. And you can do it with everybody, okay?
okay.
So like Chandra, think about the guy that kept wanting to hold your hand. Now, say it the way you know. So, I don't want to hold hands. And then he keeps trying. What would be the best thing to do there?
Um,
He just reached for your hand again after you had told him you didn't want to hold hands.
I'm sorry, but I already told you that it made me feel uncomfortable.
Okay. And what does it feel? What do you
Um,
feel in there?
Simultaneously, I feel empowered and scared.
Okay. That's where you need to go and get rid of that scared. You're worth it. You're worth it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Let's tap on I have my own back. Because that's what you want to get to, where you're your own best friend. You've got your back. You're going to take care of yourself. Okay. So tapping on the side of your hand. Even though it's been hard and I haven't been my very good friend to myself, that's changing now. Even though I haven't had an inner ally, I choose to find that inner ally now. Tapping through the points. Even though I get afraid sometimes about what others will think, I choose to care more about what I think. Even though it doesn't feel safe to me, I choose to allow it to be safe. I'm developing an inner ally. I'm becoming my own best friend. I know how to protect my own friends, and it's safe to protect myself. It's safe to be who I am. I love who I am. And I love spending time with myself. I am my own best friend. I will be with me longer than anyone else on this planet. So I choose to make it a good relationship. Releasing all this fear. Releasing all this inner negativity. Releasing all this fear. Releasing anxiety. Embracing my inner critic. Making friends with my inner ally. It's safe to have my own back. I have my own back. I love and accept myself. I love and accept all parts of me. It's easy to recognize all the different voices in my head, because those voices are me and they feel safe. I am great at creating a safe place for all parts of me. I have my own back. Regardless of what I say or do, I always have my own back. I am my own best friend. And I love and accept myself completely. Take a deep breath in and release. And once you get in the habit of saying, I have my own back, I have a team of inner allies inside of me, and I love all parts of me. Hmm. Chandra's put a lot of stuff in the chat here. Okay, anybody want to comment on that part?
Um, Saying those things was very strange to me, um, because it was almost if I was saying something that is not true. So I was a bit uncomfortable, but I'm at peace right now. But yeah, I was not totally convinced at first, saying that I'm my best friend, have my back. Well, I don't think it's well, it's totally true right now. But yeah, it was great to say so, and yeah, because sometimes I have this alone feeling, um, and yeah, maybe it's because I'm not checking, try to find help with myself, and more relying on others. Yeah, it was yeah, it was a bit strange, but yeah, I feel comfortable right now doing
Good.
this.
Yes, it does feel strange to love yourself and give yourself what you would give other people. That's something that we need to change. We need to love ourselves. We are worthy of these things. Okay, just let's start tapping through the points. I recognize the fact when I have self-esteem, it's easier for me to navigate the day. When I have self-love, it's easier for me to move through the world. It's easier for me to create an authentic life. One of the biggest challenges to my self-esteem is my critical voice. Oh, the voice in my subconscious mind, constantly nagging me, reminding me of all my mistakes, all my imperfections. Well, my critical mind does this because he thinks it's being healthy. That critical mind thinks it's being helpful. Yeah, it thinks if I point out all my mistakes, I will magically learn from them. Maybe I'll be perfect going forward. Well, I appreciate this desire for me to be better, for me to learn, for me to heal. Yeah, but I recognize the fact that my critical voice is not making things better. My critical voice is making things worse. I feel heckled or scolded, and that saps my self-esteem. So I give myself permission to know that I'm allowed to acknowledge myself. I'm allowed to see myself as worthy and capable, invaluable. But there's a part of me that's afraid I'll get too big for my britches. Yeah, there's a part of me that's afraid I might get a big head. And I recognize the fact that it's possible for me to see myself honestly. And still see myself as good. Strive for improvement. Recognize I'm worthy. Accept myself as good. This part of me is afraid if I accept myself, I won't move forward. But I can. I can see myself as worthy and still strive. I can see myself as valuable and still grow. So it's safe for me to accept myself. I allow myself to accept myself. I am worthy of accepting myself. I am worthy of all good things. Take a deep breath in. And reset. Any comments on that? Now, I have one more. It's one of my favorites, if I can find it. It's on being enough. When you think about yourself and being enough, not good enough, worthy enough, all these things we've been talking about that we need to do, accept ourselves. How good enough are you? So take a deep breath in and release it. And think about the number 0 to 10. I'm good enough just as I am. What's your number? What if you're not good enough? Not a good enough mother, not a good enough mother-in-law, not a good enough sister, worker. You're just really not good enough. Think about that number. All right. So I'm tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I'm scared, I'm not enough. I choose to honor and respect myself. Even though I might not be enough, I choose to love, honor, and cherish myself. Even though I'm scared, I'm not enough. I choose to honor and respect myself. Tapping through the points. Wow, what if I'm not enough? I sometimes don't think I'm enough. And I just don't feel good enough. I say all the right stuff. And I do all the right things. What if I'm just not good enough? What if I'm not enough? What if I don't have what it takes? I'm scared I'm not enough. And it seems so easy for everyone. Everyone else seems to get it. Why are things so hard for me? What's wrong with me? Why am I not enough? I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to feel about it. What if I'm just not enough? Well, I'm thinking of trying something different. I'm thinking about thinking something different. I'm thinking about believing something different. I don't have to believe everything I think. So let's imagine for a moment that I am good enough. And what would that look like? I'd still be human. I'd still be me. I'd look like me. I'd sound like me. I'd feel like me. I'm a good person. What if I decide I am enough? Maybe everyone's just figuring it out too. Maybe we're all in this together. Maybe there is no grand answer. Maybe it's just a decision. I'm thinking it is just a decision. So I'm deciding that I am good enough. I am good enough. And it feels good to decide I'm good enough. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy to be listened to. I'm worthy of abundance. I'm worthy and deserving of all good things. Maybe I am enough. I think I am enough. And it feels good to be enough. I feel what I feel, and that's okay. It's enough. I'm good enough. In fact, I'm great enough. I'm an awesome person. I'm declaring that now I am enough. I'm clearing away all ties that don't serve me. I'm clearing away all fears of not being enough because I am enough. I'm standing in my power. I am enough. It feels great to be enough because I am enough. I am complete just as I am. Take a deep breath in and release. Now go forward and be your great selves. Now we got 1 minute. Anybody want to say anything? Share. Oh, Cheryl, 9 to 2. Good, good, good. Okay, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
Jennifer, 9 to 2. Thank you, Cheryl, Ann. It was nice meeting you, newbies.
Really nice
see
to
you.
be here. Thanks for a great session.
Good, good. Go hug that sun.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.